Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Senior Talk and Walks. I'm Bill. Today I got another interesting topic for you, kind of on the edge of retirement, but it's more about working. And it's like, I'm 71 and I'm still working. I don't know about you guys, but I get asked that question a lot. Why are you still working? You're not still working, are you? When I go to a restaurant or I go to a doctor, or I go to some place where I have to sign in. I get that asked a lot. Are you retired? I always say, why? Do I look it? Do I look like I'm retired? I mean, what is it about when the people see my face do they think that? I don't get that. But I tell you, the reason for me is simple because I enjoy it. I actually was retired for 2 weeks. I started working at 14 and I never stopped except for that 2-week gap when I sold one of my businesses and wasn't sure what I was going to do. It kind of happened kind of quick. It was kind of unexpected. But I never intended to retire. That period was just used to decide what else I was going to do and make those arrangements. So it was only a 2-week period. So I can say that I was retired for 2 weeks. But I picked right back up and kept on going because it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I know that I think that's the key thing is to ask yourself. I did another video about retirement earlier, and it was all about if you retire, make sure you're retiring for the right reason. And my situation's a little bit different. I enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy having things to do. And actually, there's 3 points that I always talk about as far as what I think life is all about. And it pertains to this. Number 1 is always have something to do. Number 2 is always have something to look forward to. And number 3 is always have somebody to love. And if you have those 3 things, you're doing really good. They're very important. Always have something to do. Always. Don't just have nothing to do. I think that's when people get sick and they die. Always have something to do. And then always have something to look forward to. That's huge. I love that. I guess I've lived that since I was young age. I love to have things to look forward to. I love to think about it at night, laying in bed. What am I going to do? It could be something as simple as working on our RV or rearranging the garage or going on a trip or whatever it is. I look forward to it, and I like that process of looking forward to it. And then, of course, having somebody to love. That's a kicker. Somebody to love you, somebody to love you. Even if you're single, whatever, you have parents, you have a pet, you have whatever it is, somebody to, and something, shouldn't just say somebody, like I said, it could be a pet, but something and somebody to love. So for me, that's why I work. That's why I keep working. I encourage people to, I know it's a personal decision for everybody, but for me, that's why I do it. So just to kind of reiterate that retirement's not for everybody. Like I said, I did another video about retirement is overrated, but in what I'm saying here is it's just not for everybody. I mean, for some people it is. Some people I've noticed, and I know they look forward to retirement their whole life. I get it, because then they have something to do. They have something that they're looking forward to doing. Sometimes I have to stop every once in a while because people walk by and I don't want to be talking. But it's funny. It's fairly early in the morning here in Texas, and I love the reactions I get from people when I'm very active about saying, good morning, and smiling. And this one lady with a dog looked up at me and just turned her head the other way. So as I walked off, I said, well, good morning to you anyway. And then another lady just went by on a bike, and I said, good morning. And boy, it took she just kind of mumbled it under her breath. And it's funny. I tell you, maybe I'm just different, but I love life. I love life. I love waking up in the morning. I am a morning person, And I love getting out and doing this and walking and checking my list off of things to do. I've always done that. My dad did that. My dad had a list of things to do all the time, and he checked them off. I remember one time we were at their bay home, staying there, and I found his checklist for the day or the week prior. He actually put on his list, the number one thing on the list was going to the bathroom. He put that on his list, go to the bathroom. So he was a systems analyst, so he was a very detailed guy, and that's where I got that. So I get that. But I love that. I love making my list of things to do. And you know, if you ever make a list of things to do, the most satisfying thing about it is when you check them off, or you draw a line through them, and you move on to the next one. That's a very satisfying thing. So anyway, back to retirement's not for everybody. I think, as I mentioned that in my other video, it is so true. But it is for a lot of people. Good friend of mine the other day just told me he's a banker. He's a bank president, and he's retiring after 30-something years, and he just looks forward to it every day. But now he's a big golfer, and I asked him, I said, what's the very first thing you're going to do? He says, well, I got a tee time set up, and I'm going to keep that schedule on. And, you know, and that's great. For somebody like that, once again, they check those boxes. They got something to do, and they have something to look forward to. So that's awesome. But for somebody like me, I don't play golf. I don't live in an area in Texas. I used to live on the Gulf Coast, and I used to love to fish. That was a really good hobby of mine, but we don't live close to the water anymore. So it's not a thing for me. So in order for me to stay active and to have something that I look forward to and something I want to do, that's the answer for me is work. Maybe that's a bad word for some people. I remember, I'm dating myself, but a lot of us our age can remember way back there's a TV show called The Dobie Gillis Show. Remember the Dobie Gillis Show? Remember his best friend Maynard? Every time Maynard said the word, or anybody said the word work, he freaked out and kind of screamed the word. It was a bad word. It sent him into an anxiety attack. So, as I said, it's not for everybody, but as I've been saying, you know, make sure it's the right decision for you, and don't feel bad about wanting to continue to work. Some people look at that as a negative, like, well, that poor guy, he must have to work till he dies, probably only has Social Security or what. Okay, if that's your case, if that's the case, not necessarily the case for me, but I'm telling you, the fact that I am working and the fact that I still make good money at my age, very comparable to what other executives make, I think there's probably some jealousy out there, because obviously most retirement packages are what, 40, 50, sometimes 60% of what you made before. So unless you have some other things going, and in a previous video I talked about portfolios. It's a bad word for me. I hate that word. I guess mainly because I don't have that great of a portfolio, never did. But for some people, that's a great thing. And if they do, and if they've done it right, and they've had good luck in their businesses and everything all the way through their life, then when it comes time for retirement, and you want to just travel, or you want to do anything other than just work what you've done for all those years, then that is awesome. I envy you. But for us, for a lot of people, me included, and I think a lot of others, that's not the case. So if you're working, be proud of it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And if you may get into something that you really like. Work gives me a purpose. It gives me something to do. And I look at what my alternative would be. What? Watch TV, sit in my recliner, piddle around the kitchen, piddle around the garage every day. Nothing on my list of things to do. Nothing to look forward to. That'd drive me crazy. And I tell you, from a health perspective, I see it and hear it all the time. I think people get sick with that. I think they die young with that, in my opinion. So my suggestion is, you know, there's so much out there as far as what you can do. And if you don't like the word work, if you don't like the word work because of the responsibility and the accountability that it may have, hey, volunteer. Volunteer. Go volunteer as a tutor or a mentor, or in a hospital, or in a old age home or whatever. Now that'll make you feel young, volunteering at an old age home. I guarantee it. So as I said a minute ago, money does matter. I mean, yeah, that is a factor. Certainly a factor for me. Medicare doesn't cover everything. You still have medical expenses. You have prescription expenses. Social Security surely doesn't take care of everything, and my other investments don't take care of everything else that I want. And this is very consistent for me when you work. Whether you get paid monthly or every 2 weeks or every week or whatever, you constantly have something coming in. It's great for cash flow. And for me, it's something to look forward to. I like it when my bank accounts get way up and I can start pay down other debt or long-term debt or whatever. So the money part does matter. Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie about that. Speaking about work and the particular job, work doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wear a name badge or punch a clock. It could be something, like, as I mentioned, it could be something as easy as volunteering or mentoring or something that's on your schedule, that's on your time, that you can have a whole different attitude about it, especially from an accountability and a responsibility standpoint. So in that case, you set your own schedule. You call the shots. You set your own pace. That's the beauty of it. It's you have worked your whole life under possibly a strict regime and management and accountability and structure. Well, now it's time for you to continue working and get back out there. Maybe the word work is the problem, but it's not a negative word. It's a positive word. It uses your time and it uses your ability and it gives you the opportunity to do things that you like, and you can make money at it at the same time. But at your pace, it's your decision. That's what makes it nice. What has it done for me? It's done a lot for me. Number one, it's kept me mentally sharp as a senior. I know some people, and I know a lot of people that are my age or younger that are really having issues right now. They're forgetting things. They tell me, what are the symptoms, Bill, of dementia and being problems with my cognitive state? It forces you in a position to stay mentally active and with your brain. I'm constantly looking up things. I'm doing a lot of research, not only for my YouTube channels, but I write books as well. So it keeps me mentally sharp. And that's something that really means a lot to me. Physical is the same boat. I'm out here walking. It's the name of my channel, Senior Talk and Walks, because I'm always walking and delivering my messages while I'm walking. So it forces me to do that and to stay physically fit the best way that I can, but also to do something that I really like at the same time, which is my YouTube channels. So to me, it's a win-win. It also, from a social standpoint, my gosh, I always talk about our young generation these days of kids that don't ever go outside and they stay inside a lot because of social media and because of video games and things like that, and the harm that it's doing to them from social contact. That's really changed. I've noticed in my years, as I have been in positions of hiring people, that the social skills have really gone south with a lot of people, especially our young, because they're in there wrapped up with their video game or social media and they're not looking up. Just like those two people I mentioned earlier that I walked by and said good morning to, and they were, they might have just woken up in a bad mood, but I could tell they didn't even want to lift their head and look at me. Social skills are huge to me, and I think that as we continue, whether it's work or volunteering, but staying active, it really helps our social skills to be sharp and to be able to communicate with people, and it's a really enjoyment. And then, as I mentioned earlier in my three facts of life, one of them was having something to look forward to, and I think that's huge. Having something to do, having something to look forward to, and what we do as a senior are huge things, and that's what working and continuing to work brings you. It gives you those opportunities, whatever it may be. In my particular job, every day is different. Tomorrow or Monday or Tuesday will bring different things. I look on my calendars and I go, well, I get to make this presentation, I get to meet these people, I get to make this trip. It's just always something to look forward to. And I compare that to the alternative, and I don't like the alternative for me, of not having something to do, not having anything to look forward to, and sitting in my recliner and just wasting my life away. That's not me, and it may not be for you. And that's my recommendation to you, that if you are near that thought about retirement, or take all these things into consideration. If you want to retire from a business that you've worked at for all these years and you can get those benefits, that's awesome. That's perfectly fine. That is so cool. But then continue on, is what I'm saying. Continue on. Go to the next stage. Go to the next phase. And I think you will not regret that. So one thing I really urge you to do, or not to do, don't ever say you're too old. I don't say that every day. I talk against that every day. That I'm not too old. You're never too old. I just did a video on sex as a senior. You're never too old. People use that as a crutch. They use it as an excuse. Well, I can't walk today, or I can't work out because I'm old. I said in another video, don't use I call it the old card. When you go someplace, oh, I'm old. I don't know how to work technology. I don't know how to push those buttons to order my lunch. Well, learn. I mean, they make it so simple, but a lot of people just use it as an excuse, like, I'm old. You're never too old. You know, when you think about working and doing stuff, that is a real benefit. People and employers and businesses, they want that experience. They want that mentoring and tutoring and volunteering experience, because you know what? We've been there, done that. We've got that experience. We've done it for years. A lot of these people have not, and they don't have it, but we do. We have something that they need and they want. And that's our experience, and that's our time and our knowledge that we have. So basically our life experience is gold. It really is. It's a very hot commodity that we need to use. Need to use it as a benefit to us. So remember that your knowledge, your background, your social habits, everything that you do, that you've done in the past over all these years, is solid gold and is worth a lot for somebody else to hear. So kind of to wrap things up, I guess one thing that I would say about working, why I work to stay, I admit it, I work to stay alive. I really do. I think it's good for me physically, mentally. It checks those boxes that I mentioned earlier. I've just heard horror story after horror story of people that go the other route. And I work to stay alive. I don't work to stay young. You know a lot of people, I know we all know a lot of people that are out there and doing everything they can to look young, feel young, act young. Hey, we are what we are. It is. Be proud of being a senior, being proud of having the knowledge that we have. But we're never too old. I know old people hate to use that word, but I do what I do to actually stay alive. Basically not to stay young. Work gives me rhythm. It gives me a system. It gives me something, as I said, to look forward to, but some regularity on things, some consistency. I am a person of habit. I've gotten up early in the morning, brushed my teeth, put my rings on, put my handkerchief in my pocket since I was 13, 14 years old, and never stopped. That is a habit. Only one day a week, usually that doesn't happen for me on a weekend. So I enjoy that part of it. We don't stop growing because we're old. We get old because we stop growing. Let me say that again. We don't stop growing because we're old. We get old because we stop growing. I firmly believe that. Please remember that. So if this hits close home to you, please like this video and subscribe. This is what we talk about. I try to put out a couple of these a week on for seniors on what's good for us and what works for us. Once again, I use my past experience. I'm not a professional, I'm not a doctor, not a therapist. I'm just a person who's been there, done that. So, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. So this is Bill, and this is Senior Talk and Walks. Have a great day.